What is up, you guys? Welcome to another one of my videos, and in this video we are talking about my top 20 favorite horror movies. I am a huge horror movie buff. I love all horror movies from all different decades. I love new age horror movies. I love thrillers. I love black and white horror movies back in like the original Dracula times. Creature from the Black Lagoon, Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, The Mummy, The Invisible Man. All of those are classics to me. And now I'm going to be discussing my top 20 favorite of all of those. I spent an entire day going through all my horror movies to decide where I would rank them from best to least, and the least on this list is not the least overall, but it is number 20 on my overall list. Also, there are movies that I have not seen that might go on this list, but all the movies that are on this list I have seen, therefore I had to rank them where they are. But there are movies that could potentially be on this list that I have not seen yet, therefore I could not put them on this list as of right now. But after I give you the title of the movie, Cynthia is going to interrupt me like she usually does, and she's going to tell you what it's rated and just a short little bio about what the movie is, in case you guys are interested in seeing it. Number 20 on the list is the franchise known as Friday the 13th with Jason Voorhees.
Friday the 13th is rated R for bloody images and sexual content, including nudity. A group of camp counselors are stalked and murdered by an unknown assailant while trying to reopen a camp where, years ago, it was a site of a child's drowning and grisly double murder.
Number 19 on the list is Children of the Corn.
Children of the Corn is rated R for graphic violence. A young couple is trapped in a remote town where a dangerous religious cult of children believes that everyone over the age of 18 must be killed.
Number 18 on the list is The Conjuring.
The Conjuring is rated R for disturbing violence and terror. Paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren work to help a family terrorized by a dark presence in their farmhouse.
Number 17 on the list is Annabelle.
Annabelle is rated R for sequences of disturbing violence and terror. A couple begins to experience terrifying supernatural occurrences involving a vintage doll shortly after their home is invaded by satanic cultists.
Number 16 on the list is Halloween.
Halloween is rated R for horror, violence, and bloody images, language, brief drug use, and nudity. 15 years after murdering his sister on Halloween night in 1963, Michael Myers escapes from a mental hospital and returns to the small town of Haddonfield, Illinois to kill again.
Number 15 on the list is The Nun.
The Nun is rated R for terror, violence, and disturbing bloody images. A priest with a haunted past and a novice on the threshold of her final vows are sent by the Vatican to investigate the death of a young nun in Romania and confront a malevolent force in the form of a demonic nun.
Number 14 on the list is Zombievers.
Zombievers is rated R for horror, violence, and gore, crude sexual content, graphic nudity, and language throughout. A fun weekend turns into madness and horror for a bunch of groupies looking for fun in a beaver-infested swamp.
Number 13 on the list is Carrie.
Carrie is rated R for bloody violence, disturbing images, language, and some sexual content. A shy girl, outcasted by her peers and sheltered by her religious mother, unleashes telekinetic terror on her small town after being pushed too far at her senior prom.
Number 12 on the list is Slender Man.
Slender Man is rated PG-13 for disturbing images, sequences of terror, thematic elements, and language including some crude sexual references. In a small town in Massachusetts, a group of friends, fascinated by the internet lore of the Slender Man, attempt to prove that he doesn't actually exist, until one of them mysteriously goes missing.
Number 11 on the list is Paranormal Activity.
Paranormal Activity is rated R for language. After moving into a suburban home, a couple becomes increasingly disturbed by a nightly demonic presence.
Number 10 on the list is Creep.
Creep is rated R for brief violence and language. A young videographer answers an online ad for a one-day job in a remote town to record the last messages of a dying man. When he notices the man's odd behavior, he starts to question his intentions.
Number 9 on the list is Sinister.
Sinister is rated R for some disturbing violent images and some terror. Washed-up true crime writer Ellison Oswald finds a box of Super 8 home movies that suggest the murder he is currently researching is the work of a serial killer whose work dates back to the 1960s.
Number 8 on the list is Truth or Dare.
Truth or Dare is rated PG-13 for violence and disturbing content, alcohol abuse, some sexuality, language, and thematic material. A harmless game of truth or dare among friends turns deadly when someone, or something, begins to punish those who tell a lie or refuse the dare.
Number 7 on the list is It.
It is rated R for violence, horror, bloody images, and language. In the summer of 1989, a group of bullied kids band together to destroy a shape-shifting monster, which disguises itself as a clown and preys on the children of Derry, their small Maine town.
Number 6 on the list is Jeepers Creepers.
Jeepers Creepers is rated R for terror, violence, gore, language, and brief nudity. A brother and sister driving home through isolated countryside for spring break encounter a flesh-eating creature which is in the midst of its ritualistic eating spree.
Number 5 on the list is The Descent.
The Descent is rated R for strong violence, gore, and language. A caving expedition goes horribly wrong, as the explorers become trapped and ultimately pursued by a strange breed of predators.
Number 4 on the list is Crawl.
Crawl is rated R for bloody creature violence and brief language. The young woman, while attempting to save her father during a Category 5 hurricane, finds herself trapped in a flooding house and must fight for her life against alligators.
Number 3 on the list is Child's Play, also known as Chucky. And something I would like to say about Child's Play, it does exclude the remake that came out in 2019.
Child's Play, also known as Chucky, is rated R for adult situations, language, and violence. A single mother gives her son a much sought-after doll for his birthday, only to discover that it is possessed by the soul of a serial killer.
Number 2 on the list is Saw.
Saw is rated R for strong grisly violence and language, though there is graphic nudity throughout the sequels. Two strangers, who awaken in a room with no recollection of how they got there, soon discover their pawns in a deadly game perpetrated by a notorious serial killer.
Finally, number 1 on my favorite movie out of the horror category is known as Last House on the Left.
The Last House on the Left is rated R for sadistic, brutal violence including a rape and disturbing images, language, nudity, and some drug use. After kidnapping and brutally assaulting two young women, a gang unknowingly finds refuge at a vacation home belonging to the parents of one of the victims. A mother and father who devise an increasingly gruesome series of revenge tactics.
Thank you guys so much for watching this. Now here is an outro from our favorite android, Cynthia.
Thank you for wasting your time watching this video. I know it will make Zach feel a little bit more special since no one else will give him the attention he desires. If you somehow enjoyed this video, please click the like button, though you should make sure the dislike button works too. If you are new to the channel and have no idea what to do with your life, click that big red sexy subscribe button and bell icon so you may receive a notification for every upload on Saturdays and Sundays. Your support makes Zach feel less lonely. Keep watch for next week's content. There will be a cinema review for The Turning as well as the first episode of Zach's podcast, Freak Show, talking about bad relationships with one of his friends, Chief Mixer. If you have any questions for possible future Q&A, requests for future content, judgments, or random comments, don't be a hairy little vagina and do something about it. You might make a difference in regards to the future of this channel and its content. Don't forget to share this channel with your friends and on social media because you can bet Billy Joe Armstrong's bird nest haircut this is quality content.